China has raised the possibility of opening more military support bases abroad in the case there is a need to do so. According to a senior People's Liberation Army strategist, a media reporter on last week Thursday, Lieutenant General He Lei, a former vice president of Academy of Military Services of PLA, said at a press conference where on Wednesday last week that China would open new base under two conditions. This matter is primarily determined by whether a new base is needed to help China better fulfill missions given by the UN. Second, it depends on the approval of the nation where a new base should be located. If these two factors were fulfilled, it is possible for China to build new overseas support bases. The official said that the main function of these sites was to provide logistic support to PLA. The units abroad are not to set up Chinese military forces in other countries. China has a single military base abroad located in Djibouti on the Horn of Africa. As China is planning to increase its bases around the world, India and US are countering Chinese in Indian Ocean and in Pacific Ocean by making a logistical cooperation on defense and for trade bases to be used as they wanted when they wanted. As of now, in Beijing, a senior Chinese military official warned the US Navy Tuesday against interference in support of Taiwan's independence, saying that Beijing would defend its claims to the islands at any cost. General He Lei, a member of a Central Military Commission, made the remarks during a meeting in Beijing with Admiral John Richardson, a chief of US naval operation. China sees Taiwan as part of its territory to be reunified, despite the two sides being ruled separately since they split in 1949 after a civil war won by Mao Zedong's communists. The self-ruled island has its own currency, flag and government, but it is not recognized as an independent state by the UN. Beijing has said it will not hesitate to use force if Taipei or Taiwan formally declares independence, or in case of external interventions including by the United States or other countries, the island's most powerful unofficial ally. The Taiwan issue is an internal matter for China that concerns China's fundamental interests and the national feelings of the Chinese people, and no outside interference will be tolerated, including US and India in this matter. Most probably, US is supported by Taiwan with its military and financial status. India has its strategic ally with Taiwan. If anyone wants to separate Taiwan from China, the Chinese army will defend the unit of the motherland at any cost.
最大诚意，尽最大努力，争取和平统一的前景。因为以和平方式实现统一，放弃使用武力，保留采取一切必要措施的选项，针对的是外部势力干涉。
In recent months, US Navy ships have repeatedly passed through the Taiwan Strait, which separates mainland China from the island. Beijing views any ship passing through the straits as essentially a breach of its sovereignty, while the US and many other nations view the route as an international waters to open to all. A recent US law encouraging mutual visits between the US and Taiwanese officials has also been angered to Beijing. The Washington, which broke the diplomatic relationship with Taipei in 1979, to recognize Beijing remains the island's most powerful ally, and its main arms supply is still them. So what do you think of India and US are building and countering China's bases and its strategies around the South China Sea and its strategic move around the Indian Ocean and in Africa? In New Delhi, the US has broadly agreed to grant India a waiver from Iran sanction, which would allow Indian oil companies to continue to import about 1.25 million tons of oil a month till March from Tehran. A source familiar with the matter said, adding that an official announcement could come over the next few days. The US plans to reimpose the oil-related sanctions on Iran on November 4th of 2018 to choke the Islamic Republic's biggest source of income and pressure it to renegotiate a new nuclear deal. Any country or company trading with Iran without US consent after sanction kickoff risks getting out and cut off from the American financial system. The US has insisted all along that it wanted everyone to reduce oil imports from Iran to zero eventually, but was open to country-specific waivers that would allow limited imports by those pledging significant cuts. India and other key importing countries have been engaged for months with the US for a waiver. India and US have broadly agreed on a waiver. India will cut import by a third, which is significant cut, said some sources. India had imported about 22 million tons of crude oil from Iran in 2017 to 18 and planned to raise that to be about 30 million tons in 2018 to 19. But as a condition of waiver, Indian oil firms will reduce their imports significantly, the source said. Indian companies can import 1.25 million tons a month up to March 2019, the same as they have ordered for October and November, the source said. The state oil firm are yet to decide on how this quantum will be split between them. A waiver will come as a big relief to Indian oil companies and MRPL, the two largest Iranian oil consumers. How companies will pay for Iranian oil is still being negotiated between India and Iran, adding that it is likely that the two countries will stick to its existing mechanism under which 55% of the payment is made in euro and 45% in rupee through UCO Bank. Under this, rupee is used for import of rice, drugs and other products from India, while the balance proceeds in rupee and euros sit idle in the Indian bank waiting for sanctions to go. The Indian side, while building its case for waiver, assured that the US that this payment mechanism ensure Iran can't use oil money from India for any terror-related activity, a key American concern said. During the negotiation, India also told the US that it would like to import more American oil if it came on a competitive terms, said source. India and Iran still have to figure out the shipping and the insurance details for smooth trade. Currently, Iran provides its tanker as well as insurance for oil cargoes to India. The US sanctions have driven away Indian and the international shippers and insurers from extending their services for Iranian oil imports. So what do you think of US agrees to grant India waiver from Iranian oil sanction? Will this be a good start for India from importing oil from Iran, or India is bowing to US on other imports and the exports? India can seize the opportunity to provide an alternative investment hub for the American companies which are downgrading their operation in China. US Ambassador Kenny Jester said on Thursday, while he pitched for bilateral FTA as the next big-ticket item. Delivering his first policy speech since taking over as the ambassador to India, Jester identified 5 pillars to take Indo-US partnership forward: stronger defense ties, strategic economic relationships, energy environment, inclusive development and cooperation in the region. US Envoy in particularly emphasized on its India's role into Indo-Pacific region and opportunities in the economic partnership. India needs to take a strategic view of the economic relationship so as a roadmap for FTA could be laid. On pointing out America's first and Make in India are not incompatible, Justice said rather than investing in each other's market will be mutually beneficial. It will increase economic interactions and volume of trade, lead to the collaboration on emerging technologies and create jobs in both the countries, he noted. But let me go through further and suggest that this is the time to put a strategic lens in our or on our economic relationship, just we have done with our defense relationship, he said. The speech was organized by the Canaries India, the India chapter of noted US think tank. Chester informed that a number of US companies have reported increasingly difficulties in conducting businesses in the large market in the region, as is China. Accordingly, some companies are downgrading their operations there, while others are looking with great interest at the alternative markets. India can seize the strategic opportunity through trade and investment to become an alternative hub for US business in the Indo-Pacific region. Bilateral trade has increased from approximately $20 billion in 2001 to $115 billion in 2016. The US envoy, however, expressed the concerns about the persistent state deficits, including the one the US has with India. He said the US want to work with India to expeditiously resolve the trade and the investment dispute. Referring to the defense ties, Justice said, "Perhaps in the next year we can announce some major agreements like the fighter jets, advanced helicopters, unmanned ground vehicles, and intelligence exchanges." He in fact suggested taking Indo-US military cooperations entirely to a new level, reciprocally posting liaison officers at each other's operational or combat commands. When asked about the China-US ties, Justin noted, "We are interested in a constructive relationship, but if they engage in the predatory economic policies and other things, there would be no reactions, or will be reactions." So what do you think of US putting India ahead of China, and US wants India to take the opportunity to avoid China out of the world of US? Post your comments below, and if you like this video, please give a thumbs up and follow us on social networks and subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching. This is WC Daily. Think big, think different. Bye.